Test Review 3.1, Systems of Equations and Inequalities. We're going to go through a couple examples so that you can check your work. Any of the ones that we do not go through, all of the work is on Canvas, so you can go back and check and make sure you have those answers. Let's start with number 2, System of Inequalities. Graph the system of linear inequalities. For A, list 2 points that are solutions, and for B, list 2 points that are not solutions. So looking at number 2, our first equation is already in point-slope form, or in slope-intercept form, so we can graph this one. Let's do, we have 1 as our y-intercept, and then our slope is 1/2. So rise 1, run 2. Okay, and since this is an inequality, we need to decide if this is going to be a solid line or if it is going to be a dotted line. And because it is less than or equal to, that makes this a solid line. Okay, and now we need to decide which way to shade. So if I'm looking at my equation, my inequality sign, it says that all of my y values have to be less than or equal to that. So that tells me that I am going to shade below. So I'm going to find my y-intercept, and I'm going to shade below that. Okay, you can also substitute a value into your x and y and figure out which one of those would have made a solution for your graph also. Okay, let's do the second one. Now this equation is not in slope-intercept form, so we have to change it. I am going to subtract x from both sides, and now I have y is less than negative x plus 3. Okay, now I'm going to graph it. So my y-intercept is 3, and my slope is negative 1. And since that is an inequality, I need to check my inequality sign because this is a less than. I am going to use a dashed line. Okay, and we need to decide which direction we are going to shade. Since all of my values for y need to be less than everything on the right side of my equation, I'm going to go to y-intercept and I'm going to shade below. Okay, and then all of my solutions would fall anywhere that is shaded red and blue. Okay, so anything that you want to list for ordered pairs that are solutions, A is solution, so anything within here is a solution. Okay, you can choose a line that is on the solid line but not on your dotted line. So a couple of examples, we could have 0, 0, and we could have negative 2, 0. And then non-solutions would be anything that does not fall in that area, even if it is in one of the shaded regions. So a couple examples would be 3, 0, and 0, 3. Okay, let's look at number 8. All right, number 8, writing your system here. So let's pick out our important information as we're going through and reading this. So Rebecca works at a frozen yogurt stand after school. The stand sells fruit and yogurt smoothies for $3 each. So we're going to say that our smoothies are $3. So we're going to say that that's 3S, and the S stands for the smoothies. And soft serve cones for $2 each. So looking at this, I'm going to say that my $2 for the cones. On a hot summer day, the stand sold 12 more smoothies than soft serve cones. So it's giving you your answer in terms of smoothies. Okay, and that was a total of $206. Which of the following systems of equations could be used to find S, the number of smoothies, and C, the number of cones sold, the shop sold that day? So if you're looking in terms of money, because that's our first equation that we're looking at, smoothies are $3, so we have 3S, plus the cones were $2 each, and they sold a total of $206. So looking through your first system, the only ones that have, we can cross out A and we can cross out B because those don't match the first one. Then you need to decide, I have 12 more smoothies than soft serve cones. So if I'm looking at this, I know that I have to take the cones and add 12 to it in order to tell me how many smoothies. There are 12 more smoothies than there were cones. So I'm taking my number of cones and adding 12. So the answer should be D. Okay, let's look at number 10. For which value of K does the system have no solution? So in order to have no solution, I would need to have my X's and my Y's cancel. So you can figure out what you need to substitute in for K in order to make this work. So if I plug in, you can try a couple of different things. You can substitute them in and see which ones give you to an answer of no solution. Okay, but as I'm working through this, for example, if I plugged in -4, if I have 2x plus y equals 3, what number can I plug in for K? So if I plugged in -4, since I plugged in -4, I would have to multiply everything here by 2 in order for my x's to cancel. But then I still have y's. I would still have 2y and plus y would give me 3y's. So it's not A. Okay, if I plug in -2, 2x plus y equals 3, and -2x plus y equals -4, these x's cancel, but I'm still left with y's. So that's going to give me a solution. Okay, and if we have 2x plus y equals 3, and then I have 2x plus y equals -4. In order to cancel anything out, I would have to multiply by a negative, and I would get -2x minus y equals +4. Now 2x and -2x cancel, y and -y cancel, so I'm left with 0 equals 7, which is not a solution. So your answer should be C. Number 16. One more page. Number 16. Solve the system of equation by substitution. Okay, so you can substitute the 3x plus 2. That can already go in place of your y. So you have -9x plus 3 times 3x plus 2 equals 6. I took everything here for y and I substitute that in. Okay, and then let's simplify. So we have -9x. I'm going to distribute. 3 times 3x is 9x. 3 times 2 is 6. -9x plus 9x cancel, and you're left with 6, and 6 equals 6. Since I have both sides equal, I can say all solutions. All right, let's look at number 17. All right, the table below describes a system of 2 linear equations. Which of the following is represented by this table? Okay, so you're given 2 different ones here. So we need to start with this one. and you need to write your equation. So you have to find your y-intercept, which is right here. You've got your -1, and then you have to find your slope. So we have +2 and -1. Okay, so we have y equals -1/2 x. -1 over 2, your rise over your run, change in y over change in x. And our y-intercept was right here, -1. Okay, and since all of my answer choices are in standard form, I need to rearrange this so that it's in standard form. And I would get 1/2 x plus y equals -1. I can't have my a value as a fraction, so I'm going to multiply everything by 2. I'm left with x plus 2y equals -2. Looking here, the only one with that solution is D. So you didn't even have to do the second one. But if you do, erase this so I have some room. All right, so looking at your second one here, you'd have to look at these x values and these y values. So setting up your system, you need to look for, here's your y-intercept. And then your slope, we have y equals 3/2 x. Y-intercept was 3. Okay, rearrange it so that we have it in standard form. So we have -3/2 x plus y equals 3. I'm going to multiply by a -2 to get rid of everything I have inside. So now I have 3x minus 2y equals -6. 3x minus 2y equals -6. And it proves that D works. All right, and let's do one more, number 19. The graph of -2x minus y equals 6 is shown. Which point is not a solution to the inequality? -2x minus y is less than 6. So looking at this inequality, I want to rearrange it so that I can solve it. It's already graphed for me, but I need to know which way to shade. So I'm going to add 2x to both sides, and I get -y is less than 2x plus 6. I can't have a -y, so divide by -1, and y is less than -2x minus 6. So here's your y-intercept is -6, and then you can double check slope of -2. You go down 2 and over 1, down 2 over 1. So that does make sense. Now looking at your inequality sign, all of your y values, I'm sorry, I didn't flip my inequality sign. When I divide by the -1 right here, I should have flipped my sign. Dividing by negative is going to be greater than, y is greater than -2x minus 6. So here I can double check. So all of my y values have to be greater. So I'm going to shade above. So it's up here. And then all we have to do is check and figure out which one of these is not a solution. So if you find 0, 0, that works. 0, 3, that works. 0, -6. This is a dotted line because it is a less than symbol, so it's a dotted line. So 0, -6 does not work, and 3, 0 is right here. All right, remember to check your key on Canvas. Good luck, and I will see you tomorrow.